One thing about history, it tends to repeat itself. And with the NBA, we're seeing the decline and a little bit of LeBron James after passing Michael Jordan for fourth all time. The Lakers really realized that they weren't going to make the playoffs. The biggest highlight was somebody passing somebody on a scoring list because they don't have any prospect to make the playoffs. And even that wasn't exciting. A lot of players didn't really hug him or they didn't stop the game. Like, it was just it was lackluster to say the least. And as you all remember, when Kobe passed Jordan, and it was in Minnesota, they stopped the game. They let him do a speech. They gave him the ball. Like, it was just like it was much bigger than LeBron James' celebration of passing Michael Jordan fourth all time. And when you think about it, people consider LeBron like the second best player ever or first. But for him, they have such a lackluster appreciation shown by the fans and his teammates. It just kind of show you what kind of where the Lakers are headed and everything. But that's not about that. I think what this boils down to is I don't think the NBA is really ready for life after LeBron. When I mean life after LeBron, not that he's gonna retire today, but it seems like just for now, it depends. Lakers can always make a trade. They could do something later on that could dispel this theory. But it seems like the days of like LeBron going straight to the finals every year, winning championships back to back, MVPs and stuff like that. It seems like those days are done. The Lakers are already restricting his minutes. They're finding it hard to recruit, and it looks like LeBron's not gonna be in the playoffs this year. So, is the NBA ready for a LeBron James less NBA Finals? I think there's a stat like saying the past 20 years, LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and I think it was LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Michael Jordan have been in all the finals, whatever the case is. So that being said, it was the D Wade, yeah, it was D Wade for the past 10 or 20 years. It's been those four guys. So is the NBA ready to not see one of those guys in the finals? Are we ready for some fresh faces? And the NBA really has to be concerned about that because Adam Silver's battle has always been about small markets and how they're not getting enough revenue stream and stuff like that. So what if one of these small market teams make it to the finals? And look at the Bucks, for example. That's not really a huge market, but let's just say the Bucks make it to the finals. Will that finals have enough star power for fans to really tune in? So the answer to that, in my opinion, is no. I feel like, and what a lot of leagues do is they pour their eggs into one basket, which is fine. When Mike was there, they did the same thing with Michael Jordan. When he retired, finals took a huge hit. It went down like viewership went down 30%. If LeBron's not in the playoffs, viewership is going to take a huge hit as well. So what I'm suggesting for the NBA to really consider is don't have a LeBron-less playoffs. Have them do commentary. Have them weigh in on the games. A scouting report. I like how Kobe Bryant and Peyton Manning, what they did to keep a little interest in the playoffs and the sport. Kobe did a detail. He breaks down everything that's going on. Peyton Manning did a detail in the NFL playoffs. LeBron James should have a detailed series. I mean, something to keep him engaged into the sport and his name floating around until we get a clear-cut player or clear-cut players that we really can hang our hat to say this is what we want to watch in the finals. Because if you really think about it, the two teams that we would like to see in the finals, Houston and Golden State, they got to place each other in the Western Conference. So if it was like Houston was in the East and Golden State was in the West, I think it would kind of be like, okay, star power on both sides. But the fact that all the star powers in one conference and then two of the teams have like basically, I would say 40% of all the top talent in the NBA, it's very tough to say you're going to market NBA Finals with one juggernaut team and a small market team, unless you're able to pull another 3-1 deficit out the hat, something like that. But we will never know if that will happen. But in terms of being ready for LeBron's legacy and all that pumping up him to be the best player of all time and everything like that, that stuff is gonna starting to fade now. So the NBA has to transition into marketing the other stars, the Damian Lillards, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, the Kawhi Leonards. They really have to take more stock in marketing those guys, so we can really get respect for the game that people should understand. Like when I mean respect for the game, I mean like 80s and 90s, every team had a couple of guys that even if you weren't like a diehard Knicks fan, you know who they really were. Like nowadays, and they could change games. Nowadays, there's only like two or three guys that can really change the pace of a game or change the landscape of a team. But, you know, you have the AIs, the T-Max. Like, you had these household names that if they're in the playoffs, you want to watch it. But, like, nowadays, the NBA is not marketing teams, they're marketing players. And most of the best players are on one team or they try to gang up together. But you don't have those guys that can really carry a market like a Reggie Miller, like a T-Mac. So the NBA has to transition and get themselves back into selling the individual player in that small market so the game doesn't suffer. Because a lot of these people just want to watch one or two teams when, you know, guys, there are other great players on other great teams. They're just not really getting marketed properly. And this is the cautionary tale because history repeats itself. When Jordan left, there was some doldrum years, and everybody knows it. So when LeBron gets ready to leave, or you're not going to see him in the playoffs, the NBA needs to rectify that either with having him do like a detailed series, or really start marketing the other guys and letting us see more of their games so you can get acclimated. The fair weather fan can get acclimated with it. And they don't have such a drop in viewership. 30% drop in viewership, you know what that means, right? All those $200 million, $300 million contracts, they're done. And the NBA is going to be, players going to be left holding the bag or whatever, and there's going to be a whole bunch of IOUs. Hoops Junction. Hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.